I watched the Retaliator take off in 2.0 next to me. It was the most amazing thing.
I remember I almost stuck on board of a constellation taking off, but then I fell through the floor. It's like, God damn it!
You guys are craziness.
I also snuck into a Super Hornet when it was taking off.
There you go.
But
All right. Real quick, though, guys. Anyway, we
Driver.
got so much to talk about. We can't even wait to get all the air on. When it takes forever for us to get organized, and plus I work late. But there you go. Welcome to Space Bro Show. I'm Mitachi, and in sequential order here to my this way. I don't know whichever lateral that is. We'll talk about. Here's Kato. We got Kato right
Hey,
next to me.
what's up, guys?
There we go. And his screen starts to do the circle thing and start to come back in a second. And then we got Val. Val's here.
Hello.
There we go. And then, of course, we have the ever festive and seasonal Zealous Fox in the house. Welcome, Zealous. Love the Santa hat. It's awesome. It's good stuff. All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Exciting times this week. We've had the anniversary sales kick off. We've had the great streams over with, the big live stream that we saw yesterday. Everybody broke up their credit cards. As a matter of fact, people were buying ships so freaking fast that I couldn't even get a starter packages for the show because by the time I clicked on it, when it said there was over 120 left, there was 0. There was literally 0. I was like, starter pack? Gone. And that's the way it went down. It was kind of sad. Maybe not necessarily cry, but just sit there in disbelief going, God damn it, I couldn't even get that thing. But either way, we've had all that happen. We've hit 95 million on the pledge stuff, so yay! 95 million, yay! There we go. That's awesome. Yeah, lots of good stuff so far. I mean, I think that we've seen a lot of things that kind of surprised us, and a lot of things that we were kind of expecting, but they had a different twist on them. You know, so. The new jump point's out. We're not going to go into it right now. We'll probably do a little bit more on that on the after show. But if you haven't looked at it, a rehash of some of the things we saw in the live stream, like we had the Million Mile High Club, a little more detail, breakdown on that, some of the edges you saw there, a little bit of lore, like what Kato was mentioned to me before the show. And in addition to that, one of the things I thought was pretty cool, it had a little more detail on what we saw previously with some of the UI videos. So you can see more about how they're talking about the different interfaces are going to work in the ships long term. But even though we have 2.0 and PTU right now, not all those aspects are functioning, but you'll be able to see how you'll be able to actually use the control panels, how the interface, the exact position of the pilot versus the interface, all sorts of cool stuff. So it's going to be pretty awesome sauce all the way around. And I'm super excited. I'm going to dive back in and read some of that later on too. So it'll be good. So how's your guys' week been so far? Kato, how you been doing this week?
I've been doing all right. You know, it was dragging, just all the PTU hype and everything. It was just building and building and building.
For the last couple weeks.
Yeah, the last few weeks, you know, and it's like we've been built up so many times with the hype generated by the community. You know, I didn't want to get too hyped, but, you know, I kind of had the impression, I was like, you know, something's going to happen, you know. I was hoping it'd be more than just sales, and they definitely delivered. I'm definitely happy with how the week turned out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I felt more built up than a teenage boy on prom night. It was pretty bad.
Whoa.
It was getting pretty bad there. So, Val, you made some changes and purchases and grinding into some stuff, too. What do you think about the anniversary sale and the live stream?
Oh, the live stream was good. I'm happy with the sales. Every day I wait to see the new stuff they release. I'm melting and getting new ships all the time. I don't know what I'm going to end up with at this point until...
It's almost like a bad roulette nightmare right now. It's like, oh, bet on 27 red, it'll hit again. And just keep melting and buying and melting and buying and doing all that good stuff. I think
Eric, so I'm happy about that.
Yes, the Carrick. I'm so happy somebody's got one in the org. I think you got one, and then I don't know, Kato, if you ever bought one or not, too, and you were thinking
Troy
about
got one a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I had one previously, but it got melted.
Yeah. we got such an array of ships. I mean, if you're looking for an org to try out lots of different ships, guys, you should check out Overwatch. We got so many ships, and we need crew. You could be part of that crew. But Zealous, I know you. I think you got back some ships that you melted, and then I don't know what you've done. You're like a conundrum and an enigma and all sorts of stuff. So what'd you end up landing on ship wise and everything else from the anniversary sale?
I melted the Constellation after taking it off one time and managing to get into Quantum Drive once.
Yeah.
I was happy with that. I melted it and went back to the Constellation, not the Constellation, the Freelancer Dur.
Okay.
And then I got a Warlock for a standby ship.
Nice.
And waiting for Thursday for the wholesale, and then waiting further along when they do the downgrade system. So I'm going to downgrade my 315P to a Reliant, which will hold the cheaper side of the ships, and that'll be my package ship. So
it'd be a nice little quick mini hauler like what it was intended. It's a cool ship. I imagine I'll acquire one after the game comes out for the Reliant myself. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be a good boat for sure. So we all got something or melted something. I'm still sitting there. I'm the guy just holding on like ready to hit the button. I don't know what I'm going to hit the button on, but something's going to happen at some point with something because I got credits burning a hole in my pocket and I got a whole B that's just not looking as awesome as what it did in the beginning. Now they got all this shiny shit. So we could possibly see a Herald in my future here. And yeah, I think it could be cool.
You could get a Herald or a Shion Scout.
Herald.
Herald.
Yeah.
Herald. Shion Scout's cool ship. It just looks like it looks like one of those spider monkeys that jumps out at you like
Spider monkey.
Coming at
Face
you.
hugger from Alien.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm like,
it needs to do drive backwards at you that way.
Yeah.
Because it's all folded back.
It's a cool ship. It just I don't know. It's just not probably.
It would of the size class. It would be more valuable of a ship because being Shion and LTI.
Yeah.
But the what's it called?
Herald.
The Herald would be more useful.
And I'm definitely going for useful ships. I'll get the cool stuff as the game launches. I need the stuff that I need to use in the game more than the super shinies. But not saying that I don't think some of the ships I have are super shiny, but I really think I'm going to lean more towards this could be used for X in my brain than, hey, this is a pretty ship. But that's just the way I'm approaching the game. And everybody can approach it how they want because that's the beauty of it. There's so many variants already. In the last 6 months, we've seen so many cool, unique ships come out that it blows your mind. And among those ships, I mean, I'd have to say the one we're looking at above our heads here on the stream, the Crucible, did not disappoint. It was entirely different, and I think we mentioned this on the previous streams, entirely different than what I had envisioned in my brain at all before they announced it. I was had an image in my head, and they just kind of blew my mind with what I saw, and then I was like, wow, that's not as commanding a presence or a big ship as I thought it'd be. But as they went into the detail and the walkthrough on this ship, it's just I was just impressed. I was impressed with the amount of detail, the amount of uniqueness they had to the ship, and just the functionality of it. It was really cool, that I thought. I mean, I don't think any of us were disappointed with what they came out with for the Crucible. I think it's really a cool ship.
I thought they were going to take a Caterpillar and a Reclaimer and put them together.
Yeah, something bulky and over that. That's, yeah.
Something
I
boxy
love
with
that repair
arms and
kit.
stuff
Yeah.
on it.
I could think that could be a whole business by itself.
Easily.
It's all business stuff. And you get the fancy spinny chair.
Easily. And Kato, you picked one up right away.
I did. The first day, I was rearing to pick one of those up. I was able to do that because what I'm doing for this sale is I had a Reclaimer and Orion, and I'm also had two Sabers that I'm going to use those as tokens to turn the Orion and Reclaimer into LTI. So that freed up some funds for me to turn around and just melt those down, pick up the Crucible, and then later on Wednesday I'm going to pick up the LTI Orion and Reclaimer. So yeah, I was able to pick one up fairly easily, and I'm
Yeah.
excited too.
Yeah, it's super awesome. I mean, and like what Zell's talking about with the rotating bridge is cool. I love this aspect. It feels very Star Trek when you look at the concept drawing of like the bridge here section with the saucer section, except with like a nice bay windows, almost like what they have in the in some of the other ships that we have. It's like very open, very spacious, but you have that whole saucer section kind of feel there, which is pretty cool. But the repair functionality of the ship, just to highlight a couple things, it's the only way you can get 100% repair out in space without going to a major space repair zone or a space station. You cannot get 100% repair except with this ship in those cases. It's also able to detach what they call the Scarab, the front bay there that you see in this image with the Hornet, and able to operate that Scarab independently as a floating little base operations, if you will, while the other ship's doing other repairs. So essentially, if you had a full repair crew, you could repair a small ship in that while you had the main ship helping with the capitals and larger vessels that don't fit inside the bay. It's really complex and stuff, and we won't get deep into the repair post. We might talk about it if you guys have questions when we do the Q&A portion of the show and the after show. But yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. The layout's neat. There's so many little neat tricks and things that it can do for repair. But I like how they've also kept it very synced in the repair role. They didn't say, this is a ship that does everything, and it's just really good at repair. They said, this is a repair ship, which can defend itself a little bit, but it's a repair ship. That's what it is. It's nothing, it's not your Cloaky. It's not, a mining vessel, but you can do some limited salvaging and other aspects with it. So that's really neat. It's a cool ship. Also, we had the Avenger variants come out, right? And Zealous, do you want to talk a little bit about what we saw with the Avenger variants?
The standard variant is the is it Stalker or Striker? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Striker.
I think it's Striker because I keep thinking of the armored vehicle, so that sticks out in my mind.
Then you have the Huller variant, the Titan, which we're very, very confused because we have no pictures of it at all. Presumably,
yeah, it's just they just show like an ethereal like cargo section of the inside of the Avenger. It's like, hey, quick, draw some cargo nets against the cells, and there it is. It's the cargo variant. So the
I'm guessing it's probably going to be like a Freelancer Max version of the Avenger. So it's going to be a little bit fatter and no cargo. No what's that thing called? Holding cells.
I believe it has a larger weapon as well.
It is called the Stalker, by the way, the base variant. The Stalker.
It doesn't make any sense because it's not stalking anything. Well, it does because it's a police officer ship.
I guess. I like how it's a cop car that's like a stalker.
That sounds horrible.
It does. Sounds like every person's greatest fear. But yeah, between having the Stalker and then you mentioned the Titan, which really, I mean, again, on these images, they just show a small picture of like a cargo bay, and then they have the Warlock, right? So you have the Warlock.
Warlock is EMP fighter.
Yep.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the EMP that focuses on EMP for its main like offensive and defensive weaponry and that sort of stuff with a blast radius, basically dropping a portable EMP bomb is what it turns your ship into in some regard. So, because it emits a blast radius. So that, I mean, those are all cool ships. I look forward to seeing more detail as they get more concepts and stuff of how they might make the outside of ships. Because usually in the variants they tweak like the paint jobs or something. They keep the same style of the ship because it's a variant of the main ship. They usually give it a little more tweaking, and I'm sure they will. I mean, they won't just have like, here's a cargo net and here's a EMP module and here's a blah blah blah, because it's almost silly to sell a whole variant of ship if you can just buy an EMP module, snap it on the ship, and like, look, it's a Warlock. No. So they'll go a little bit more into it.
It's probably going to have some like avionics. And,
absolutely.
Titan's probably going to have like more mag locks for the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, the warlock has the prison, like the prison cells as well. So that's kind of like a bounty hunter, like use the EMP, stop the criminal, go and subdue them, and then throw them in your prison cells. So that's
Yeah.
definitely like a bounty hunter style ship.
Absolutely.
So what you're saying is the warlock is going to be throwing buckets of water and 9-volt batteries at them to stun them.
That's it.
Something
I
like that,
don't know.
maybe. That'd be mini MP.
Well, it's going to be essentially the equivalent to the Cutlass Blue, with
But
the
the
sucker
sucker-
punch weapons. That the sucker punch weapons are essentially an EM style of weapon.
Yeah, it's power draining weapons.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, with those variants out, I mean, we're looking forward to. We have a whole ship schedule coming out. Do we have a link for the ship schedule? I forgot to ask you guys. I don't even have.
Yeah, I'll pull that up. 1 second.
Okay, I was like, I don't
Yeah,
even have a link.
I have it up right now.
That's cool.
Okay.
Tomorrow, the Caterpillar, the Herald, the Redeemer, and Cutlass Blue.
Okay. There we go. So there's the Redeemer back for you there, and for those people that want to jump on that. I am already locked into mine. I'm very happy about that with LTI, so I have the Redeemer all handled. The Herald will be the one that I look really hard at and say maybe button clicky time, and that'll probably be what's go down.
Kind of excited to see the Caterpillar.
The Caterpillar, I know one of you guys will end up getting either way, so I'm just not going to look at it. Yeah, I'm not going to look at it because I know Kato's over there like, I've been waiting for the Caterpillar, and I will make it a glorious butterfly, and it will do all things that I need it to do. It'll be amazing. So yeah, that's it. It's going to be a cool ship. It's going to be even more cool as they flesh it out. I mean, just looking, if you guys haven't gone back and look at the posting when they did some of the Caterpillar walkthrough on the modules they did, that was a really impressive episode where you just saw all the variants they was brain panning out for all the different sections of the Caterpillar and all the different things that potentially it could do. It's going to be so good. And I predict the funding boost. I could see when that releases, I could see maybe with it also being a weekend, 500K to 750 again by Saturday. I predict. I think we're going to hit 96 before Sunday.
Well, Sunday they have the Retaliator and modules, the Starfire Gemini, the Saber, and the Super Hornet on Sunday. But I have a feeling they're going to release a secret military package that'll probably have an Idris in it.
Oh, maybe they would. Those bundles with an Idris, I could see that. So, it's like, even though we don't usually talk shit, but the Caterpillar is so much more than just transport. So much more. It's a crackhead ship. It does everything. It's like, it's your house, it's your mom's house, it does all the extra things, it does pirating. It was really based as like a utility everything ship. And you
It's
can
all
snuff out the
modular,
modules.
right?
So, yeah, it's fully modular, the entire section,
Yep.
to do about anything and adapt to what you want. So it's going to be really interesting. You're going to see some great stuff on it. So what else do we got on the schedule? What else we got? So we got that tomorrow. And then you got
Sunday's the military sale.
okay, and that's the one that you predict will probably have something attached to it. Maybe
Yeah,
once
it's all the
package.
Retaliator and modules, Starfire, Gemini, Saber, Super Hornet. But I have a feeling they always release something secret
Yeah.
and new concept. So who knows what new concept?
Yeah, who knows? I don't think they'll release another ship, but they might release another bundle package of some sort. I could see that. I could definitely see that because they came out with the Explorer pack, right? They're labeling these in packages, from what we've seen. So you have the Explorer pack, and you have the probably some sort of military squad pack they'll do, and they're trying to bundle them like that. I want to see like the Alien pack. What's that?
It's also another slight chance that it's not going to be Idris. It's going to be the Idris replacement.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, the cruiser or whatever they were talking about.
Not the cruiser, the Corvette. The new
The
Corvette.
Corvette. That's right. The Corvette. I don't know. We keep predicting they're going to release this Corvette, and we never see it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems like it'd be a soft note to do that. If they had it, I think they would have released that during the live
Yep.
stream too.
And Tuesday, there's also a chance they might sneak in the Prowler.
Yeah, they might. So what's Mondays like? What's on Monday? What's
Monday is the racing trips. M50, for some reason the Delta's in there, and the 350R.
so that there won't be any money made that day. You'll hear the massive sucking of like melting happening that day, and that's
Yeah,
probably
well,
that.
I see a lot of people buying a Delta.
Really.
Yeah.
With all
The
these
Delta-
other cool ships out there, you see people go, you know what? F all these other ships. I need a Delta. That's going to be the ship for me.
Well, it depends on your budget too.
Yeah, it
I
depends
guess
on-
so. I think, well, on my shoestring budget, I'm going to buy the cool stuff that's new and fresh out the thing. Then I'm going to regret everything that I used to not have, and then rebuy it again in 6 months.
The Delta's really popular in Arena Commander right now because you can essentially fit it with 6 weapons.
Yeah.
So it's very much a glass cannon right now, but it's very popular to do in Arena Commander at the moment.
We'll see how those balances change too as PTU and goes to live, and then you have 2.0 start to stabilize. Because right now it's unstable. It's basically still single person reaching out in the universe, running some missions, trying to, get a feel for it in what we see in 2.0, especially in the streams that are out there. But as it starts to stabilize and we start to get people grouped up and do things like that, we'll see what ships start to come forward on those. You might be surprised. I think there's going to be some multi-crews that are very surprised when all of a sudden you have a whole bunch of like single-seater butt sexers come down and like waste your big multi-crew ship, because I think that's going to happen. I think that's going to be a thing once they allow
think of somebody just like parked on by side of like a asteroid mining, and like 5 Deltas came out of nowhere and just barraged the side with rockets.
I'd be interested to see how much damage a Delta truly would do to something like a
Connie.
Connie. I don't know. I think you'd be surprised. I think you'd be surprised that they'd do shit.
Yeah.
And they would get just blasted
We are
out of the
talking
sky.
about 5 times 18 times 2 rockets, size 1 rockets.
Yeah. And
So-
Deltas don't hold up well to
Yeah.
rockets.
Well, no.
or missiles.
Well, the Delta's been broken for a long time.
Yeah.
But yes, Fallout is right. The Vanguard Warden is hangar ready.
This is true. They did say that. They did say that it is.
I actually did see it on Bod's stream.
There you go. So there'll be. We're gonna have some surprises. I can't wait till the Redeemer's hangar ready. I want to see that because I want to be like, oh, that's just troop transport, and just like unload on some big ship with those guns and be like, what's up? And be like,
It
"What
is
the fuck
hangar
is it?"
ready. Oh, you mean flight ready?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't wait till it's flight ready. It's hangar ready, but it's not Chris Roberts hangar ready. It's skinned with all the other stuff. It's not, hey, we redid this the 5th time on top of that, so now we're going to make it really pretty on the inside. Not that the people who designed the ship, for the contest didn't do a bang-up job, but compared to the fidelity of what we see on the Constellation, the Retaliator and stuff now, it's not going to be ready to fly with its current control systems in place, what you have in the Redeemer. So, I look for vast improvements.
I'm
on the
kind of
interior.
excited about Tuesday.
Yeah? What makes you
You
excited
got-
about Tuesday? Tell us.
It's the alien theme,
Alien theme.
and they got the Banu Merchantman, the Reliant again, and then that Katru Da'al or whatever that.
Call
weird
Car to
looking-
all.
Yeah. That Banu is going to be $1 million ship right there. That's
Yeah.
gonna. There's going to be 1 million people going, oh, the Banu.
Yeah,
I'm kind of interested to see that one.
well, the thing is, they already said that you can't just go into Banu territory and just say, "Oh, I want a Banu merchantman, please." You have
Yeah.
to build rep with them.
Yeah, if you want to
That
get it
means-
once the game's out.
Yeah, once this game's out. And if you have it with LTI,
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll also put it this way. Anyone who has read through the actual RSI forums, there is something called the Banu Merchantman Club.
yeah,
It's
there
a
is.
forum thread in there where people who have a Banu Merchantman talk about how awesome they are with their Banu Merchantman. Because there's just like not a lot of people that have this Banu Merchantman. So I think just from the time that it was originally released to now, the amount of buildup of hype about people who are interested in
Well-
that ship and how unique it is, I think you're going to see some crazy shit happen with it. I think you're going to see numbers like spike.
Well, my org has one of those people, and your org has one of those people.
I know. I do know. Every org
Bacon,
has one.
bacon shall not be mentioned.
Yeah, the name of bacon shall not be mentioned.
And his
There you
name.
go. See, look, there we go. More people. I can't wait to see it in my hangar. It's gonna happen. It's like it's some elitist club that's gonna get watered down come Tuesday because everyone's gonna go bye.
And then after that big
Mm-hmm.
$1 million day, Wednesday's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Fred, do you want to tell them what's coming Wednesday? You have most
Wednesday. Reclaimer, Orion, these are pretty much the utility ships on
The big
Wednesdays.
dogs.
So if you want to make money, that's the day to pick up your ship.
Yeah.
Those are the only two I'm really thinking about. I know there's like 4 ships for sale on that day, but I can't.
There's
The
Reclaimer,
Starliner.
the
The
Genesis,
Oh, yes.
Orion.
Starliner.
Yeah. All the
The
occupational
Starfarer.
ships, basically.
Yeah,
The
except for
Starfarer.
some reason the luxury Aurora's in there, but yeah.
You gotta throw something else around.
personnel transport is going to be.
Yep.
I think it's going to be viable.
And the
Yeah.
Aurora LX is in there.
We'll see. I don't know. It really depends. It depends on how they work out that occupational thing. I mean, I think it's going to be viable to a point, but I just don't know. It's going to be a hard thing. If they have NPCs running transport and everybody else, I don't know if it's going to have huge profit margins. Maybe mission-wise, maybe, but I don't know on the other end of the stick on that. We'll see.
Well,
But I think we're underselling it, though. I mean, seriously, these are ships that people have either thought about getting or maybe getting or whatever, or they've had and they melted or whatever. I think you're going to see, especially with the design posts and the occupational posts starting to come out, like what we saw with the repair post, I think people are going to go crazy and get these, like, Reclaimers and the Orions and stuff. I think you're going to see a spike in that again because they've been starved a little bit on it. I think it's
Well,
gonna be-
everyone that's signed up since those haven't been out wants one, so that's a lot of new members.
Yep. So I mean, you're gonna have all the people. Basically, we're gonna have big sales tomorrow. We're gonna hit it pretty big Sunday. I think Monday's gonna be a little bit of a lull. I think Tuesday's gonna come back with a vengeance. There's just gonna be some niche things. I think you predictably could easily average out on 500,000 a day. I think easily average out, even with the lull days. It could go well beyond that. So even if they do that, I predict that it puts them really close by the end of this whole thing to $98 million. Maybe if people just go ape shit, they'll crack the 100 mil. I think they're going to fall just short of it, and then they're going to rely on the holiday push, where I think that is when you'll see the ship that Zealoso wants to see all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a holiday because there's nothing else. There's nothing else on the schedule that's like a big, like, oh my god, Besides,
Yeah, we're gonna get another concept in
Are you
December.
talking
that they'll
about
push
the Idris replacement, or
Yes.
are you talking about
I think that's gonna be a holiday thing. I really do. I don't think we're gonna see it in this sale. I think you're gonna see the Idris replacement for the what do we call that? It's not the
Prowler?
Not I keep
The
calling it a
Corvette.
cruiser, but it's not a cruiser. It's a Corvette.
Yeah,
We're gonna see
Corvette.
the Corvette come out in the December, I bet. Because I can't see them trying to sneak. They're getting all this money from all these other ships.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it would be marketing. I wouldn't say suicide, but marketing detrimental for them to try to release another ship in the middle of all this stuff when there's so much potential ships they already have in the market. They're just going to resell right now. So I could see a main sneaking in something small or some cool little mods or a little twist here or there. But a major ship like the Corvette or something, it's going to be a holiday type release, and that's going to be their ace in the hole to try to put them over the top.
Well, I'm thinking
Definitely.
Thursday
Mm-hmm.
will be a good day because I have the Freelancer Miss, which is the Missile Freelancer, all the Hull series,
Yeah.
and the Constellation Phoenix. And I have a feeling that if they debug 2.0 fast enough, they might try to make it available, and that would really push sales.
It would be cool.
The freelancer?
Yeah.
I don't know. They've already said with the way they shocked us with having the ships, like what was it, the Vanguard hangar ready or whatever, and some of the other
Yeah.
stuff. I think their pipelines, any ship that has its what do they call it, their ship palette or their all their schemes ready and their design made up and templated for a certain category. Any ship they've done that for, I think you're going to see a rapid progression of all the ships in that line. If they get the MISC stuff set, boom, you're going to see an Anvil. It's starting to roll out faster because they have a palette and a design thing of how they want all these Anvil ships to start to look. So the more they get those things set in stone, the faster we're going to get ships because they're using components and modules and different things and assets from those vessels and just tweaking them in color and size and different things and applying them to the designs of these ships. So I think that's why you're going to see a rapid progression on the current ships that are in concept just being delivered right to us. I think, something that would normally take them a 6-month turnaround, you're going to see, once we see the concept in the white box, they're already most of the way there. I think they're going to start to see 3-month turnarounds instead of 6 and 8-month turnarounds on ships from concept to doorstep.
I think you're exactly right.
Yeah.
They're definitely streamlining their production of ships. The Vanguard, they got that hangar ready super fast.
Yep.
But kind of going back to the sale thing, your numbers. One thing I don't think you are thinking about is this coming week is also Black Friday, which I feel might have the strings on people's purses tied a little bit tighter because they do have to.
Maybe
So we might not see the numbers that we typically see. Some concept sales they'll do $1 million days. Over this, they might pick up 2 million, I'd say. So that'll put us at 96. Honestly, I don't think we'll hit 100 million by the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you might be surprised because the same people who spend the money on this stuff, let's be honest, I'm not the guy who goes stand in line at Black Friday. I'm smarter than that. I have this thing called the internet. And
Cyber Monday.
Yeah, Cyber Monday.
Either way, you're spending money.
Spending money. But I also see, this would be the perfect marketing time for them to put our RSI credit card out. So if they put one out, it's like, here's the Chris Roberts RSI credit card right now. We'll give you great terms. They just sell so much more. It'd be crazy.
Well, on Friday, all the way to Sunday, which is Black Friday, you can buy all the ships that were available this week.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're turning them off, but
no, I think they're just making everything more available during that last pit of the whole.
So we don't know what they have in plan. Mm-hmm. They just might put everything available, or they might try to do something special for that Friday, which will push them over to the 100 million. Because their marketing's pretty good. Yeah. And I think they're planning to break the 100 million on Black Friday. That's the day they're probably going to do the 100 million.
I'd say by end of the year, Black Friday would be insane that would be the most amount of money they made in a month. I don't think they're going to do that.
If they come out with some new, never heard of thing, that will push it over, I bet.
I don't think so. Because, you're still dealing, even with the newer people, you're still dealing with a limited market, and people only have a finite amount of money. To be honest, they only have so much, and you only have so many people involved with it. And yes, it's starting to explode more. Yes, we're seeing some of the main streamers who are in 2.0 get 200, 300, 1,000 people watching them that, have tripled or quadrupled the amount of people viewing. But even if you had all those people jump in and buy a $45 package or go crazy and spend $200, you're not even going to hit the numbers that we're talking about there off that. So, is it possible? Yeah, it's a very maybe-ish, but I could see them pull down, get close to, after the end of this, by 98 million, maybe a little more. 98's pushing it to me. And then trying to bag the last 1-2 million in December. That's the way I'd see it play out. I don't think they're going to hit quite 98. I could see them hitting 97 pretty firmly, though.
Yeah,
I think they'll do the 100 because I think they got some things up their sleeve.
I think they
It'll
do,
have
but
to be a concept, another
They-
concept. That's the only way.
Even if they put the Idris out as a single ship, they'll hit 100.
they'll have to have a concept. But I mean, I think having a concept in the midst of all this other chaos, it just waters down
Oh,
the
no.
concept.
Well, yeah, no, they
Yeah.
do have a concept right now that's in the middle of all of this.
Yeah.
The Crucible is the concept.
Well, yeah, but they led that in with the
Um,
live stream. I mean, they had a huge, like, here's the marketing campaign for the Crucible. It was like a 30, 45 minute of the entire stream. I don't see them having something up their sleeve as a concept in the middle of this sale. And
No,
going, oh,
no,
here's a little
that's not
post.
going to happen.
Yeah, I just
No,
I think that'd be
we've
good.
already they've played their cards. It's all how it plays on from now. What I'm saying is they'll need to do another concept sale in December
Yeah,
to reach 100 million.
maybe even
They
two.
do
I
have,
could see them do 2 concepts in December.
They do like a baby limited ship sale, I think, for the holiday sale. They'll handpick a few ships that they think people want, and they'll put them on sale again. So, I mean, if they do a really awesome concept sale in December, they'll hit 100. But if they
They
don't,
said-
it's not happening.
I think it was oh, what was it? The Prowler was supposed to go on the concept right after the Crucible.
Well, and right after is usually 1 to 2 weeks. I mean, that's usually so. Again, maybe I still think it puts the end of December on that.
They're either going to all be off for the holidays and we're not going to see nothing awesome Friday, or they got something happening Friday for Black Friday.
I don't think
That's
you'll
mine.
see. I don't think you'll see anything.
Because they still have to do their little video streams this week.
I think
If
you're
they
going to
can.
go into the holiday. You're going to go in the weekend with great updates on the 2.0 posts. Probably some patches dropping down during the holiday weekend for 2.0. Maybe even going live with it by then. Maybe saying Thanksgiving. Here's 2.0 public live. I could see that, but I can't see a concept. I can't see some additional surprise like big sale item. Maybe some niche stuff. Maybe some discount packages again on some starter packages and stuff like that. But nothing out the thing. I think when you're going to get the Prowler, when you're going to get these other ships, is going to be December, and
Yep.
they'll just hammer and feed us those to try to hit their numbers they want. But there's no way they're hitting 100 mil by Black Friday. I just
Nope.
can't see it.
What about the FPS? What do you feel about
This is the thing that I think could be a sneaky little boop. And that was, again, happen in December, though. Because they got to do the hype train. They got all hands on deck getting this PTO to live. I really see the FPS, if they squeak it in there, it's going to be like a Christmas type thing. We're looking like
Yeah, maybe.
towards the end of
The
December.
end of the very end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very end of the year. Squeak it in, and then here's the marketing campaign for all the shit you buy for the FPS. That would lock the 100 mil. That would be like the last resort if the concept ships they put out in December don't finalize it. The FPS would just knock it out of the park. Because people, even if it was small packages, if I had to buy a $50 or $100 like suit, weapon loadout package and stuff for an FPS type build and stuff like that, I could see people just eating that up like crazy. It would just go crazy on it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they have a plan in action. I think they're spoon feeding it to see where they get week to week. They'll do a synopsis at the end of the anniversary sale when it's concluded, see where they are money wise, and then do a plan of action on what concepts they're going to drop through December to hit their 100 mil mark, so they can say, "Hey, we did it." And then I think we'll lead in solid into the beginning of the year, and we're going to have a live 2.0, and we're going to have maybe the FPS and things like that, and you're going to start the new year with a bang, and then it's just going to feed on itself from there. And then it's going to be all hands on deck reiterating on 2.0, and then the other hand's going to be finishing up doing the levels for Squadron 42 to get that out the door, and then it's all going to be like iteration on 2.0. You're going to be 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and you're going to be Squadron 42 on our face, hopefully by summer, and then it's just going to snowball from there, and then they'll just keep rolling it up, maybe go into beta by end of summer, fall, and then hopefully launch by around this time next year. If all falls to plan. I mean, with the acceleration and stuff like that. If not, then we're looking 2017 for a release of the whole game, and they're just going to iterate on 2.0 all through next year. FPS come in, SATA Ball, Arena Commander be integrated into 2.0 world, so we'll basically be playing beta through next year. That's my prediction.
It's possible.
2.1 is going to come faster than you realize.
Well,
I
what
hope
did
so.
they release last month? What
But
was the
and
ship?
this is why
1.3.
this is why 2.1 will come faster than you realize. They've made no promises, just what they want to put in 2.1. So they could say whatever. It's like, here's 2.1. Look, we're progressing every month. If they did a point variant, a tenth of a point, like 2.1, 2.2 every month, it could include or not include whatever the hell they want, and it would be a example of progress on the game. And I think they have this in their mindset that they want to show definite progress in the game. And if they keep reiterating on it like that, it will, at least in maybe not in task but in word, look like they're progressing on the game the whole time. But with their pipelines pretty locked in, I think they're going to be able to make that kind of progress, even if it's like we added new stations, we added new missions, we added new guns, we added new ships, we have stuff flyable. I think all next year is going to be Flight of the Bumblebee time. It's going to be people trying to get these ships, all the ships we have in concept or hangar ready, flyable. I think that's going to be the whole push next year. I don't think they have to do a lot more besides continuing to expand the universe gradually, adding the new landing zones, and just keep making more ships flyable. And then they'll re-release sales every time something comes hangar ready or flyable. And you're just going to see that keep going.
I think
Yeah, I
Chris
think you're-
did say something about something being in 2.1.
Well, I think the Freelancer is
Yeah.
2.1. Probably more missions, Freelancer, and maybe the Vanguard.
And possibly the Scout and the Herald, too. Those were really close, too.
I think you'd start to see the medical practice come into play, or the scout salvaging and stuff come into play 2.2, 2.3. So you're going to see more occupations coming in the mix by 2.3, and then we'll go from there. But it's all going to tie to a ship. We have to realize they're not going to release an occupation until they have a ship tied to it, so that way they can re-release that ship sale. So I think you're going to see the rework of the Cutlass come into play here beginning of next year. We're going to see a lot of that stuff, and I think they're going to either go salvaging or medical, but I just cannot see them having the Reclaimer ready.
It's not. The
Yeah.
Reclaimer, Orion, Endeavor, those aren't going to be around until launch, PU.
Yeah.
That the Carrack
We're
might
not going to
be-
see those.
You might see them before launch. I don't think, because we're talking launch end of 2016, 27, beginning of 2017. I think you might see them because they're going to want to do the gameplay to figure out.
Yeah,
how they
but
work
you can
in the
do that
game.
with smaller ships, with modules. You can put it
Yeah.
on. You can get the same mechanics, essentially, just on a smaller scale,
Only if they
working
have it. I don't know.
in baby PU. No, they've already talked like a lot of these bigger ships you're not going to see until release.
Yeah, how are you going to get the mechanics of what an Orion does, though, on a smaller scale level? I mean, because it has so
I
many
mean,
stations that
it's
specific job role.
animations. Like realistically, you can get the mathematics, all the kind of back end stuff working on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
You move it up, add some animations, and you're there.
Yeah, maybe. Because you see different, if you look at the, I'm going to beat it to death, the repair post, the amount of detail on how they scale it on that.
We're going there.
I know, we're going there. I just see they're going to reiterate that. They're going to reiterate that in all the occupations, and the scalability factor comes into play on the repair post, where it shows everything from a personal patch job with a single gun, up to scale up with using the arms, up to scale up on a major ship. You're going to have the subsystem modules, like you're pulling a rack server out of the rack, changing out the subcomponents in that. I think you're going to have that same scale of detail you see when you go from a salvaging vessel, where it's dudes using portable cutting tools, or you're using a caterpillar with a module bay, or you're using different things that have rotating arms to do some salvaging, all the way up to where you use a full reclaimer, where it has its own process where he's scanning and all that stuff, like what we see the Crucible doing when in repair. So the vastness of difference in the type of using the occupation is going to vary just as much from the guy using the patch gun and repair work, all the way up to using the huge, ship to do the full repair. I think you're going to see the same thing when somebody goes out to salvage, somebody using a handgun to salvage versus using an entire ship to that. Now, they can cheat with using the Crucible for salvaging. So that's easy. But unless the Crucible is going to be mining, too,
And the Caterpillar, right?
but the Caterpillar's not out.
Oh, but yeah, it can do.
Because we're
salvage.
talking about what they can facilitate in 2.0. I don't think they're going to drop the Caterpillar by the time they're probably going to talk about salvaging posts. Because I think the salvaging post is going to be so closely related to the repair post, I'd be shocked if it wasn't next.
Yeah, no, and if you pay attention to some of the transmissions from SIG, Randy Velasquez, the guy that was very kind of the lead on getting the Crucible out the door, the development, they were always talking salvage, repair, salvage. The salvaging and repair systems are going to be, like you said, fairly similar, if not identical.
Yeah.
They were working on the salvage mechanics while developing the Crucible. They almost had me convinced that the Crucible was going to be a salvage ship.
I can see that. You could almost hold a derelict like Hornet in there, cut off the good parts. I mean, use the same system. You're scanning the ship with that infrared and that, seeing what's good, what's bad. You're cutting out the good stuff, saving that as opposed to replacing the bad stuff. I mean, and then you have salvaging. I mean, that's really not that big a leap. It's like you're doing that,
yeah.
you know.
And that's exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
They already have salvaging and repair ironed out, I think.
Yeah.
To an extent.
I agree.
Man.
I think you're going to see the interesting twist when you get not so much even to mining. Mining's going to be really similar, except it's going to happen on the external aptitude of the ship more than the internal, because you're going to see, like, they've already done a design post previously on mining where they talked about the pressures and scanning the rock and find the right materials and making sure the driller doesn't go too deep and all this stuff. So seeing that translated to what I've visualized and have seen on the repair post is going to be amazing, because it's going to be so... It's going to make sense. Once you learn one occupation of that type of thing, it's going to feel natural to move from being a scrapper, if you will, for salvaging over to a true miner for mining, because you're going to operate the same type of systems, just in different ways a little bit. But the scanning is going to be familiar. Making sure you hit the right areas, not pay too much pressure, all that's going to be good. I think what's going to be really cool visually to see is when they go into medical, because medical is going to have maybe similar type of systems, but applied in totally different ways in order to accomplish similar tasks. You're repairing a person,
Right.
So saving the person, bringing that person back in, remapping limbs. And I want to see if there's elective surgery. Can you get bionic arms added on and all sorts? I mean, really, if you want to add
you can mod, everything else is modular. Why not make your character modular, right?
Yeah, so you could toughen them up, It's like, I want to have fucking xenomorph skin and, like, bone sections, like, all sorts of stuff. It'd be cool.
I think
the only thing I'm really Oh, sorry, Zell. What?
I see parking tickets happening.
Oh.
Because people bad landings. It's like you're parked like halfway in between lanes, sir.
There you go.
500 UEC fine.
The biggest thing that I'm worried about is, like, a year down the road, they're going to be like, okay, so we have all these different professions. We know how they're going to work, but the thing is they're too similar. That is one thing that SIG doesn't want, is they don't want cookie cutter things, right? So I'm worried they're going to look at these and they're going to be like, these are too much the same.
Yeah.
You learn one, you're a master of all of them. And I think that's something they're going to avoid, that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
They want everything to be a little bit different. They want those details, the nitty gritty. So I'm worried if they follow along the same paths with all these different occupations and professions, and they feel very similar, we might see a rework of whole mechanics.
Yeah, that's true. It's not foreign to them to do that when it comes to the ships. When they have ships that look like they're similar roles and they don't have enough definition of what their roles are, they absolutely have gone back in and said, you know what, we're going to redo this whole thing, see you in 6 months, and go back in and just rework that. So I can see them doing that with the entire occupational tree if they go that fast.
Yep.
I guess, to be honest, the best way we're going to tell is the next occupational post. We'll see. Is it cookie cutter of that? Is it something completely different? If it's got a familiarity, but like a whole unique feel and interface, I think that's going to be enough to let them slide by on it. But we'll see. We'll really see on that. I mean, that's the only way it can go. I know we got on the occupational things. There's a couple more things I want to cover before we let everybody go. The Archimedes and stuff that people have been using right now. If you guys aren't familiar, if you're just watching the show and you've never, really clued into Star Citizen or what it's all about, other than it looks really freaking awesome because you've seen it on Twitch and stuff, be sure to hang around for the after show where we'll answer anybody's questions, talk to you about it, and tell you more about the game we love. But the Archimedes is the latest, what we call an LTI token ship, where it's a low bar entry ship where you can purchase it for a cheap price, and it has what's called lifetime insurance on it. This ship can be then, what we call CCU'd or a cross-chassis upgrade into a lot of the other vessels we love, especially during this big anniversary stream where they make all these ships available, so we can get that lifetime insurance applied to a ship that we want. There's been some controversy arising with this, and it's mostly coming from the camp of, like, the original backers and things like that, because obviously we're happy to have LTI, and the more options they give us to, like, manipulate and not necessarily game the system, but try to gain LTI on ships. As much as they protest and say, hey, this really doesn't matter, guys, LTI is nothing, let's be honest, it's a great marketing tool. And for anybody to deny that is a fool, whether it's CIG, a regular player, or whatever. They're like, it doesn't matter. But you know what? It might not matter, but we all fucking want it. I think about it whenever I buy a ship. Everybody else does. Hey, if I can spend another $5, $10 and get a cross-chassis upgrade with LTI on it, why wouldn't I? So one of the things that has really popped up more recently, and we've seen this before, but it's also something we've seen a lot on Reddit from the postings here, and I'll read this for you guys. There's a post here, and it has a ton of comments on it. We won't go into the comments and stuff. We'll just discuss our own perspectives. It says, CCU has killed LTI. Just give pre-beta ships LTI and give the original backers a different perk. And I understand the sentiment. I mean, some of these guys, they've believed in the game from the beginning. They've been there, they've put their money up, they did all this stuff. And I won't say they were baited in, but they were definitely promised, hey, by being an original backer, you get all these LTI and stuff. The options that the CIG has now offered through buying these newer ships, every time they release a new concept, they offer LTI on it. Well, by implementing that with the cross-chassis upgrade system, they basically give us a blanket writ to where we can take those LTI ships and convert any ship that they resell again into an LTI ship. So the opportunity where a guy bought a Redeemer for LTI in the very beginning, thinking that was his one opportunity to do it, is now offered to me wherever they offer the Redeemer up just for regular, because I can take that new LTI ship and merge it into a Redeemer, get the difference of money back, and then now I have an LTI Redeemer.
And the only difference is he spent less money to get it. Slightly less money.
Yeah. And that's really the only difference. But to go into his post here, he said, and explain it in his own words, and this is from Malegos, and I've seen his post before. He's a competent person. He said, CIG granted LTI concepts last year, creating an exception for the end of LTI in November 2013. Since then, they've also introduced LTI modules, variants, and upgrade kits. The last straw was the CCU system. Now, anyone can buy a cheap concept ship and upgrade it with its LTI into any other ship. To me, this is fine. People are kind of afraid of losing ship they paid cash for, and that's understandable. CIG tried to explain that as much as they want, but that fear is still alive for people that don't follow CGI's every word. There are still some downsides. First, we still have people stuck with packages that can't get LTI, and original backers that took the risk, bought early, and LTI is so omnipresent that it's now only supposed to offset a trivial cost, neglecting the reward they were supposed to have. The solution is simple. Any ship purchased with cash should get LTI, even retroactively. To replace the lost benefit that original backers deserve, another perk should be granted to them, although I won't try to think up something arbitrary in this post. That's a fair statement in my mind. It is. It's a fair statement. LTI was originally set down for me reading the little post and reading the stuff. I was like, hey, you buy early, you get LTI, guys. And ever since they offered the cross-chassis upgrade and stuff, that perk they have offered for people buying early has basically evaporated in a certain aspect when it comes to LTI. But I think what we're ignoring here is the fact that LTI has been a driving factor in their marketing campaign. As much as they try to downplay it, all of us think about it, and I could think of any ship that I've either purchased or put money towards, or any of my friends have. We've all either bought what we call LTI tokens or some other ship, so we spent an additional $20, $30 in order to get that LTI. And that's because for two main factors. First off, it's nice to have all the bells and whistles. If you know you got the complete deal, you have no worries, nobody has an advantage over you when it comes to this individual ship, and you don't have the headache of having to replace it, blah, 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 blah. Secondly, CIG is entirely unclear on how much LTI, how much insurance will really cost in the game. They say, oh, it's nothing. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't, but okay, can you guarantee me it's only going to be 1% of the cost of the ship? No. Can you guarantee me that it's not going to cost me, a third of the ship? Oh, no. But trivial is such a vague, arbitrary term that, I mean, that it's an open-ended thing. It's like you tell me that I don't need this candy because we'll always have candy and it'll always be cheap, but you won't tell me how much candy is going to cost next year, and you won't tell me that it won't be limited or you might run out, but you always say, hey, I got candy every time you sell me something. So, I mean, why would I not want the candy? So it's definitely used heavily in marketing and stuff, and I think it's a good driving factor. The flaw, in my opinion, if they discontinue LTIs especially, and they just say, hey, everybody LTI, it eliminates a lot of their money gains, I think more than people realize. Because having it special makes us all, me, Kato, Val, Zealous, it makes us buy things. Even if it's a trivial cost, it turns out to be, it makes us buy it now. Instead of going, who gives a shit? I can get it for LTI now. When they resell it, I get it for LTI later. It makes no difference. So
I bought 3 Sabres just for LTI.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 1 to fly, 2 for the Reclaimer and the Orion.
That's $540.
I bought 2 P-72 Archimedes today for tokens.
Yep.
Now, as much as people want to complain about the CCU system, it is, I think, SIG's way of fighting the scalping that was going on the gray market. People making money off of these
Doubling
digital ships.
the money that
It's
they pay
like,
for.
okay, no, they're making hundreds of dollars because it's like, okay, I bought this in concept. I'm going to turn around and sell it for thousands of dollars. Nice Viking
on-
helmet. I love that.
It depends on.
Anyways.
It depends on what
yeah.
ship, but yeah, they could easily double or triple, maybe 5 times, depending on which ship it is. Their
Yeah,
money.
I mean, yeah,
We're buffering.
absolutely. So I think really, okay, yeah, LTI is not special.
Trivial.
It's not trivial, but it's not as special as it once was. At the same time, we aren't having citizens fall prey to scalpers in the gray market anymore. And I think I appreciate that more. That's not a conversation many people are talking about right now, but I definitely think the gray market is collapsing right now because of the CCU system.
And if they're going to give the veterans and original backers or whatever, give it account bound.
Well, let's put it this way. Do we really want them to... And I don't know what the perk would be, and I'd be all for, hey, here's a token, you're an original backer, you can get like an OG on your shirt or whatever, but they're going to want something that translates to what was the perceived value of LTI. And it was perceived as something very valuable in the very beginning because it was supposed to be very limited on how you could acquire it.
It's valuable, so you don't have to remember to buy insurance.
For your hull. They're still
Yeah,
going to have to buy insurance
for
for
your hull.
almost every fucking thing else on your ship. Let's not be afraid. All your modules, your subcomponents. I mean, you got to replace your fuel, your missiles, your loadouts, your packaging, your cargo. I mean, it's some small solace that, hey, I know I will never lose my hull. My hull will be there for me, even if I have to go like run packages back and forth to like one planet together in the same system forever to get all my missiles and all my air stuff because I got effed in it, you know. But
LTI takes fear out of going out there and exploring in the dangerous area.
and that's what makes the game more fun, because if everybody's scared to undock, as we've experienced in Eve before, nothing fucking happens. Because everybody's like, I got this great ship, but I ain't gonna fuck it up. It's gonna sit in this dock, and I'm just gonna talk shit in local chat forever. That's what happens. I really think, I don't want to see CI. I don't know that CIG would feasibly spend the time and resources to come up with a better system or a better perk for all the other people that originally backed. I don't see them spending the resources to do that.
The only thing I see them coming up with is free parking. That's it. Free parking on planets.
Free parking. I can see a jacket, a T-shirt, some swag. I think they're just going to flare it out if you want to do that, to be honest. And they won't be happy. The original backers won't be happy with that. The minute you start talking turkey about offering a replacement for that, they won't be happy. Shoot, yeah, we'd all be happy if you gave us all LTI, but I think it'd be detrimental to the progress of the game as far as
I
financial.
never said about giving everybody LTI.
No, I know you didn't, but I'm saying if we follow suit and we say, hey, we get the back or something, then we're talking about following this stuff and giving everybody LTI.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to appease both camps. I see what his post is doing. He's trying to say, hey, everybody gets LTI, the original backers get something else, everybody's happy. Great, except I think you really F up the money progress that we see month to month. I really do. And as much as I, can say, well, it makes it sound like CIG no points baiting us in and get us more money. No, they're being directly honest. You don't have to buy this. You don't need this, blah, blah, blah. And we're all buying it. And if it makes me feel more intense and I want to buy it now, and it helps build the game that I want to play, I want it to continue. I don't give a shit. I know everybody thinks, the outside world thinks that we're spending crazy amounts of this game. You're all guys are crackheads. You don't even have the full game to play. You're spending millions and millions of dollars. But the more money they dump to the game, let's be honest, the faster its progress financially, the more shit we've seen come out quicker. In the last 6 months, we've seen more shit drop that's like more towards a true game that we want to see than any other time. And that's also the faster amount of money they've made than any other time. I think that the more money you pump into it through concept sales, LTI sales, and let us mini-game the system like that. Whoa, I want to buy this strategically and then try to do this. The gray market, fuck it. I don't care if it continues to persevere. That's great. If it helps drive money into my game and gets people excited about it and makes people think about buying LTI ships more and using them LTI tokens, whatever it takes to get this fucking thing done, I support. Just keep
No,
doing
the
it.
gray market doesn't give any more money to SIG. That's people just giving an initial investment and then making buttloads of money
Yeah. But
in their own pocket.
a lot of those people, two factors in that, in the gray market, spend, again, since they made money, more money into the game to get more shit to make more money. Right? Because let's say I bought a bunch of sabers, they go off sale. I sell them in the gray market, I make $250 a saber. Well, fuck, that was great, man. What's the next LTI ship they're going to sell that I can buy a shit ton of up in the gray market them again? They're going to do it again.
It's just a really terrible.
It is.
You're victimizing citizens. It's predatory, and
It is.
I don't think we need that sort of thing happening in this game, in this community.
Always going to happen, though. I think it's going to be.
It is. There's always going to be people that take advantage of situations to make money, but at the same time, if you can limit it, you should try and limit it.
All right.
Well, if they
To a
didn't
point.
have LTI, would you take your Carrack out, not barely knowing how to fly it, without insurance? No. Could buy cheap insurance, maybe, yes.
But if they didn't
Well,
have
it takes
LTI,
that-
everybody would have to take that same risk. You wouldn't have somebody that doesn't have the risk and somebody does, so we wouldn't know any different. The biggest thing the CIG screwed up on was offering LTI to begin with. Now that it's there,
Yeah.
you can't take it away from us. And now that it's there, everybody wants it. And it's also been a money driver where they can act like they're battling against it, but they're not. The gray market will always be there. And I'm not suggesting anybody go to gray market. By all means, please avoid it at all costs. But if you're financially have the means to it and you really want to buy and get a bit butt raped on the internet for like some ship that's nowhere near worth what you're going to pay some other dude for on the thing, then I say that's your problem. Really, I do. I think, you know, if some guy's going out buying Yugos off of eBay and paying $50K a piece for them, I mean, I guess that then it must be worth $50K a piece to him.
You're right.
You know?
I mean, you are right, because no one's forcing anyone to buy these ships on the gray market.
Yeah. And
You
this
know,
year
it was
more
like
than-
LTI was
Yeah.
the greatest thing ever, you know, and you know, without LTI, my ship's worthless. You know, so if I'm gonna get this ship, it needs to have LTI, and the only way for me to do that is buying it on the gray market. You're right.
Yeah.
You don't need to buy it from them, but at the same time, with us not knowing the actual monetary value of LTI, there is that kind of, well, maybe I do need LTI. You know, I don't care what Six says. I
Yeah.
might actually need LTI.
Because they have no numbers for us. So we're always in the back of our mind going to be like, well, this could only be worth like $2. Or could this be worth $50? This could be $100 worth of shit I'm doing here. Because when you get in, maybe not in the small ships, but when you get in these big ships that we're spending $300, $400, $1,000 on, you can't tell me the repair cost in time translates to, you know, $2.
Right.
And that's gonna be a repair. I mean, really.
Right.
I mean, it's gonna cost us in just money, thinking time wise, just to refill the cargo of that ship, much less repair the ship itself. So
Yeah.
that's always going to be in your head. And I think CIG's done a great job of battling the gray market in another way. They're reissuing these ships more. We're seeing them reissue different ships, and with the CCU and the LTI available on these tokens and stuff, that's how they battle the gray market. Because we were like, fuck, this LTI Redeemer, I mean, 8 months ago, I'd be like, well, fuck, if I want a Redeemer and I want LTI, I have to go gray market to get it. Not so much anymore. If you have a Redeemer, however you require it when it's on sale, and you have the token, boom, I got LTI and a Redeemer, and I didn't have to touch the gray market. So that's the way they're keeping money in CIG, and that's the way they're battling the gray market without trying to change the whole system or pull the rug out from underneath people that have bought into LTI and that have done these other things. I think changing it right now is a bad idea. I really do. I think if they sit there and try to give everybody LTI, you water down the system. A lot of us who bought extra ships to get it, it'll be like, wow, did I really need all that? And we're focused really tightly on a great
We've already went like 20 minutes overboard, so
Yeah, we have.
Well, I want to. Let's do a poll and see what we, or not a poll on your stream, but
We can
just
do a poll
between
on the
us.
after show if we want to do a poll.
No, just between us. What do we
Okay.
think they're going to hit by the end of the anniversary sale, which is Sunday next week after Thanksgiving?
I already said me. I already said it's, I think 97, 98.
I agree.
97 is probably the strong
Well,
thing.
write them
98 would
down
be
and let's
amazing.
see who wins.
Okay.
Is there a
We can just-
wager?
Yeah, where are we
Let's
betting
wait.
here?
Let's put up.
Wait, let's not get this on stream. Let's not we'll put this on YouTube.
No,
I don't want to
it's
get
now.
arrested.
It's now. What's the wager? We're doing it now. So
Let's do a Brobuck wager.
There we
Robux. So
go.
I just give out Robucks to everybody who wanted.
So
What
Ben
do I
loses
get?
anyway.
What do I get out of this wager?
Well, I think you're going to hit 100 million and 100,000.
100 million and 100,000.
100 million and 100,000. We'll see who gets the closest to the actual number.
Fucking prices right now.
Sunday night. Let me see what day that is.
So is there a certain window of like how far can I do 97, 98, or am I stuck with like within a million, or how are we doing this? Or are you trying to
I
hit
know.
exact
Just whoever
numbers?
gets close to the exact number at 10 o'clock at night on Sunday the 29th.
without going over?
Yeah, without going over. This is like a game show,
97's
like-
my 97's my call then. What do you say, Fred?
96.2.
0.2. All right.
97 and a half.
97.5. That's probably a good one right there. I think me
So
or
I'm
Zell's
gonna
going to
go.
win this one. But we got them written down. They're in stone.
I'm the long shot.
That is a very long shot.
Yeah.
No, they did 4 million in October, and they didn't really release that much. So I just think they're gonna do like 8 or 9 million this month.
Yeah.
Be
Funny.
interesting.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, I see you guys back.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up here. We'll get it. We'll get it on there. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the show. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it. We did go over, but hey, it was a great conversation, great talk. Lots of exciting things happen. Be sure to check us out. We will not be doing the Space Pro show next Friday. It will not be happening. I am streaming Thanksgiving night, however, but there will be no Space Pro show next Friday. Look for us back. First Friday in December is when we'll be back then, according to my calculations, which are sometimes skewed. But that's when we'll be back, and I'll get you more information on that then. Don't forget, you can still enter the raffle on StarCitizen24.com to enter the $50 gift card that's going to be raffled away. Well, not raffled away, but given away live on the Thanksgiving stream. You do not have to be present to win. If you have Thanksgiving plans, don't worry about it, but be sure to get all those entries in. You can each day between now and Thanksgiving. We'll also be giving away, again, our traditional couple gift cards, those type of things that we do for Star Citizen. So if you are available wherever you are, push the turkey aside, pick your phone up there, check out the stream, say hi. We'd love to hear from you. Other than that, next week, hey, I got the email for 2.0. We'll be streaming 2.0 probably for the remainder of the weekend / next week. We'll also obviously be mixing in HOTS because I can't stay away from it. It's like crack. It's just, that. But stay off drugs, kids. Just play HOTS. That's the way you should do it. That's the way you should do it. All right, guys. With that, we're going to get out of here. Stay tuned for the after show. I'll be on for a little while at least, answering questions. You guys got any comments, questions, concerns, anything else you want to talk about? We're around. We're here. We're ready to do this thing. And, yeah, it's about that time. So have a great night, guys. Val,
Take
Fred,
care, guys.
thanks for hanging out.
Bye.